December 17th, my kids lived a similar situation. My ex-husband had them for the weekend and overdosed in front of them while I was 45 minutes away at my home. He was revived with 2 shots of Narcan, but still pretty traumatic for my kids. In July, my oldest son, who's 6 years old, lost his father to a heroin overdose after only 4 months of him actually being in his life. So I'll never forget that call saying that he was no longer here. My son absolutely adored him. He knew from the moment he met him who he was, and they had a great bond, and heroin took that from him. So this has been 2 people that I've lost to heroin, and my 3 kids, who are 6, 5, and 3, suffer from it daily. My 3-year-old will constantly ask if her dad is still doing bad drugs or if he's going to die today. My 3 kids have to see a counselor every day at school because they don't know if their dad is going to go back to doing bad drugs. So whenever I got that phone call and I was on the phone with 911 for Ryan, I just said enough is enough. And I wanted to educate the community and educate other people about what heroin is and let them know that it doesn't have a face, or you don't have to be in a certain class for it to affect your family, because that is not what I expected of my ex-husband, and it definitely affected my kids.
We can help. It is stoppable. We just got to figure out a way. I think there's more than enough intelligence in this community. There's more than enough people with backgrounds that if we all got together, we can start some sort of movement here. I don't think we need the outside influence, because we have it. We've beat other things. People sometimes forget that these things cycle through here pretty rock. We had bath salts. We had this synthetic marijuana. We had a multitude of different drugs through the years through this town. I've been here most of my life, and you know, they came through in a big storm, and then this one seems to have caught on. It doesn't have an identity. It doesn't care. It doesn't have an age limit. I think that's something that makes a difference. It's also extremely affordable for everybody and anybody that wants to get a hold of it. That doesn't help.
I'm the last person that you want your survivors to see come to a door. There's people in here that I've had to do just that. Okay? We have a problem with the misconception of this epidemic. A lot of people see it as an abuse and an issue that you can tell somebody just to simply quit and walk away. It doesn't happen that way. People need to understand the severity of the opioids and the effects upon their bodies. Opioids, statistically, 50% of the people that try it one time develop an addiction. Okay? An addiction to an opioid can be a lifelong commitment. It will alter your life, it will change your life, it will change the environment in which your families reside in, and everything. But you don't tell, and you just don't walk away from it. Research has shown us that with this epidemic, and the opioid addiction, is that you will tell it, and you want to, and it will tell you, no, you may want to, but you aren't going to. Okay? It will direct you, it will control you, it will tell you when, how much, how often, every day. Every day. That's why the family and friends become victims of the epidemic.
190 people. That's the number of people on average that lose their fight with heroin addiction every day in the United States. These are not just numbers. They are our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our daughters, and our sons. They leave behind unanswered questions and heartbreak for their families. My brother was one of these individuals. Being 11 years older than me, he was my big brother in more ways than one. He had a drug problem as far back as I can remember. He was a semi-professional bodybuilder. My brother stood about 6'4". In my eyes, it was probably 10 foot, and weighed close to 300 pounds. And yes, he was my biological brother. He was my protector for years. and I was his baby sister. He overdosed on heroin along with a multitude of other drugs in 2007. The heroin overdose caused him to have a massive stroke, and it paralyzed him on his right side. Because of his mere size, the family and himself decided that he needed to go into a nursing home. His health declined, having stroke after stroke, along with his heart issues because he had congestive heart failure as well. He died in 2009, about 2 years later, weighing a little over 100 pounds.
It is depressing. It's scary too, especially when you start looking at statistics. But I'm up here now to let you know that there is hope. And that's why we call our program Hope in Recovery. We are a faith-based Christian program that was started in around 2000, 2002, somewhere in there. And I say that because a lot of times there's some criticism of faith-based programs. There's a lot of government money floating around in the professional programs. And a lot of times when you take government money, you can't talk about Jesus. Sounds stupid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's the way the world is. And we're very proud of what we have our foundation on. It's on the 12 steps of AA. That's really our basis. And if you've really read the 12 steps, they're a Christian-based program. Now, they may not say Jesus in it, but it says God, and it's involved in, I think, 9 of the 12 steps, and it's implied in the other ones. One of the things we do in each of our meetings is we read a creed, and we do this for 2 reasons. When people come into our meetings, we want them to know where our foundation is. They may not agree with it, and that's fine. They could have a different faith. That's fine. We have no objection to that, because everybody needs to start where they are. But they need to know where we're coming from. And the other side of that is for them to hold us accountable. That if we start drifting from our mission and our statements, that they can hold us accountable.
Started drinking my senior year, quit playing ball, started doing drugs. It got worse. I never seen heroin when I was 35 years old. I'm going here, try this. Me being me, I asked myself 1,000 times why I snorted that line. A couple of years I was snorted and I started shooting speedball. The last 5-6 years I've taken 10, 20, 30, 40 grand from my parents. We're real menace to this community, plain and simple, period. The word mistake holds no value to me. I don't care if you're drunk, dope, sick, jealous, fit or age. It's a choice. Everything we do is a choice. And everything we do is our fault. And everything we do affects other people's lives, plain and simple. And I've affected a lot of lives. What was that step 4, TISHA, forgiveness? It's going to take quite some time. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive, but I've been told I have to. I'll never ask anyone to forgive me because I don't think that's mine to ask. I just don't. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I didn't see my children for 7 months. That was my rock bottom. And this past Tuesday, my ex let me have my 2 beautiful little boys. Getting ready to pick them back up here in a little bit. I was going to bring them up here, but we talked. They're little. I need to shelter them from this right now. When they're old enough, they're going to know. Because addiction runs in their blood like wildfire. So death, prison, whatever, you can punish me any way you wish. My biggest fear on God's green earth is my 2 little boys being like their father. That is unacceptable. If I fail at everything in life and teach them to be better than me, I'll accept that.
These are the people that we should be asking the questions to, because these people have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, wore it out, and got another t-shirt. So if we have questions after this meeting, some of the questions, if they're strong enough and want to talk about it, those are the people that should be asked those questions. Because we don't have enough beds. That's obvious. We don't have enough jail spaces. That's obvious. We have to work this from the inside out. And the inside is, and the fact is that no matter what happened to you when you were doing your drugs, no matter what I said, no matter what your wife said, no matter what your mom and dad said, that's your mom? It's nice to meet you. I don't know if we've ever talked. No matter what she said, it wasn't going to change. It took you. The question is, what did it take you? And you probably don't know yourself, or maybe you do. Maybe you can take it back to a spot. But those are the questions we have to ask these people to interject into our society. And we have to cut the people and you know, we clap our hands. Oh, that's real great, 6 months. That's 6 months or 7 months or 6 years. Every day they wake up, that's in their mind. I don't care if it's 6 years, 6 months, 16 years. They wake up every day and think, will today be the day that I slip? Am I wrong?
Exactly right.
We have to understand that this is not going to go away. When you used to see me, you used to be like, oh man, I don't want to pull me over because I don't want the hassle, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I have a job just like you have a job doing whatever you do, and all you guys have jobs. If I don't do my job, then I get in trouble at work, right? My job is to try to figure it out. That's why we try to communicate with so many people. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.